say what a great honour it is to be speaking to you today about what I saw in Jerusalem. I was very fortunate last year in October to visit Israel and Palestine, and also the city of Jerusalem with my colleagues that are here. And I suppose Jerusalem, for me or for anyone, I think, whether you're of Christian faith, Muslim faith, Jewish faith, whether you're a believer or not, has some significant meaning. And what struck me when I was in Jerusalem was the spirituality of the city. So there we were in a city that has this enormous history for all religions, holy sites, etc., which basically meant so much to so many people that were visiting that city when we were there. And if you walk around the streets of Jerusalem, you see people of every denomination, every faith that you can think of, who have gone there either as pilgrims or as tourists to worship, to pray in their particular religion that they believe in, and such a spirituality of that city. But in amongst all this spirituality, calmness, religion, is this chaos that exists as well. And what struck me more than anything was those little narrow streets that you walk through in Jerusalem, and basically what appears before you is the Israeli soldiers with their machine guns all ready to go, constantly, continuously throughout these little streets. Oblivious to many of the, well, it's not oblivious because you actually see it, but amongst all this, it's a reminder that there's this existence, this powder keg that's ready to explode. And if you look at Jerusalem, for many years it's always been a centre of confrontation of who will have control of the holy sites. And we know that in Palestine, in Israel, with the conflicts that have taken place for many years, Jerusalem is at its centre, at its very, very centre. One of the other striking things was that many of the Palestinian residents in Jerusalem, their residency is so precarious. In other words, they have their residency, they're residents of the city, but the moment they step outside, work elsewhere, intermarry with someone else in a different region, their residency is so precarious. There's been people that can no longer go back to the city even though they were born there, have lived there the majority of their lives, and we saw some of these examples and situations. So therefore, we know the precarious situation, we know that whatever negotiations are taking place through the UN and the EU, who have, I think it was through Resolution 181, where they talk about having an international status for Jerusalem. We hear then, I come back here and a few months later or a year later, we hear Trump make that announcement. And you can see how an announcement like that is nothing but taking us backwards 20 steps. Including then a few weeks later we heard our own Prime Minister make the same statement about an area where there is so much, I suppose, negotiations or whatever's happening in terms of, we know that is at the centre of a solution for the entire region, and people walk very carefully to ensure that the right things are said, to make sure that there is some form of discussion to negotiate around one of these oldest cities in the world, then to have Trump and then our Prime Minister come out with a statement like that, the damage that does to any good that's being done, any focus, any direction towards a solution. So for me, Jerusalem was a very special place. It was absolutely very lucky to be there, but it also showed to me the precarious situation in this place that means so much to so many people, both Palestinians, Israelis and the rest of the world, that we need to make sure that the statements that we make as politicians are very measured, not out there, as we heard in the last couple of months from both presidents and our Prime Minister. Thank you.